Good morning. I want to welcome back Chairman Clayton and welcome Commissioners Jackson, Peirce, Roisman, and Lee to this important hearing on the SEC's role in U.S. capital markets. This is the first time since 2007 that all 5 commissioners of the Securities and Exchange Commission have testified before the Financial Services Committee. I believe it is important for the committee to hear testimony from each of the commissioners, including its chairman, because they each hold a vote on important regulatory and enforcement matters, and they each hold unique views that the committee should be aware of. The committee will come to order. Without objection, the chair is authorized to declare a recess of the committee at any time. This hearing is entitled Oversight of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Wall Street's Cop on the Block. I now recognize myself for 4 minutes to give an opening statement. I want to welcome today's distinguished panel from the Securities and Exchange Commission. This is especially important since the SEC is not fulfilling its mission as Wall Street's cop. Key rules like the Volcker Rule have been rolled back, while rules to implement other important reforms on issues like executive compensation, which Congress enacted back in 2010 as part of the Dodd-Frank Wall Street Reform and Consumer
Commissioner
Protection
Robert
Act,
J. Jackson, Jr., who has served on the Commission since January 2018. Commissioner Jackson came to the Commission from New York University School of Law. Commissioner Hester M. Peirce, who has also served on the Commission since January 2018. Prior to joining the Commission, Commissioner Peirce had a post at the Mercatus Center at George Mason University. Commissioner Elad L. Roisman, who has served on the Commission since September 2018, and who prior to joining the Commission served as Chief Counsel to the U.S. Senate Committee on Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs.
Failed to protect retirement savers from unscrupulous financial advisors. It is also clear that our existing securities laws are not working, and there are loopholes in the laws that corporate insiders are taking advantage of. I now recognize the chair of the Subcommittee on Investor Protection, Entrepreneurship, and Capital Markets, Mrs. Maloney, for 1 minute. For example, executives are enriching themselves by buying or selling securities in their own companies during the 8K trading gap, which is a 4-day gap after a major corporate event before the company is required to notify the public and investors of that event. Corporate executives are also using stock buybacks to line their own pockets rather than giving their companies pay raises or investing in their companies. Allison Herron Lee, who has served on the Commission since July 2019. Commissioner Lee has served for over a decade in various roles in the SEC. In addition, most recently has written, lectured, and taught classes on financial regulation and corporate law internationally. And finally, Chairman J. Clayton, who has served on the Commission since January 2017. Prior to joining the Commission, Chairman Clayton was a partner at Sullivan & Cromwell. I believe that the SEC needs stronger tools to protect investors and punish bad actors. Members of this committee have introduced a number of bills to strengthen the Commission and our securities laws, and a number of these bills have passed this committee or the full House. Today, we will have the opportunity to hear directly from the commissioners on these important measures. In addition, I'm very concerned about Facebook's plan to create a digital currency, Libra, and digital wallet, Calibra. It appears that Facebook is working to create a new global financial system that is intended to rival the U.S. dollar. For purposes of testimony, each of you will have 5 minutes to summarize your testimony. When you have 1 minute remaining, a yellow light will appear. At that time, I would ask you to wrap up your testimony so we can be respectful of both the witnesses and the committee members' time. Commissioner Jackson, you are now recognized for 5 minutes I and other
to present
Democrats
your
on the
oral
committee
testimony.
have called for Facebook to halt their plans until regulators in Congress have an opportunity to examine these issues and take action. Today, I hope to hear what steps the SEC is taking to ensure that Libra is appropriately and rigorously regulated. I look forward to the testimony of our witnesses, and I now recognize the ranking member of the committee, the gentleman from North Carolina, Mr. McKinley. I want to welcome today's distinguished panel from the Securities and Exchange Commission. Commissioner Robert J. Jackson, Jr., who has served on the Commission since January 2018. Commissioner Jackson came to the Commission from New York University School of Law.
Commissioner Hester M. Peirce, who has also served on the commission since January 2018. Prior to joining the commission, Commissioner Peirce had a post at the Mercatus Center at George Mason University. Thank you very much, Chairman Clayton. I'm going to deal with two issues here as I recognize myself for 5 minutes for questions. First, I want to deal with insider trading. I'm going to you, Commissioner Jackson. Current loopholes in the law allow corporate insiders to enrich themselves at the expense of their shareholders. For example, there is evidence that insiders are misusing SEC Rule 10b-5(1) to engage in illegal insider trading by changing their trading plans. My bill, the Promoting Corporate Standards for Corporate Insiders Act, would require the SEC to study this apparent misuse and amend its rules accordingly. This bill passed the House on a broad bipartisan basis. Can you please discuss why it's important for retail investors and market integrity for loopholes to be fixed? Do you agree that the Promoting Transparent Standards for Corporate Insiders Act is a common sense fix to the apparent loophole in Rule 10b-5-1? Insider trading has been a problem. Commissioner Eli L. Roisman, who has served on the commission since September 2018, and who prior to joining the commission served as chief counsel to the U.S. Senate Committee on Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs. Commissioner Allison Herron Lee, who has served on the commission since July 2019. Commissioner Lee has served for over a decade in various roles in the SEC, and most recently has written, lectured, and taught classes on financial regulation and corporate law internationally. And finally, Chairman Jay Clayton, who has served on the commission since January 2017. Prior to joining the commission, Chairman Clayton was a partner at Sullivan & Cromwell and was a member of the firm's management committee. Welcome all. Before recognizing you for your testimony, I understand Chairman Chayton has a brief administrative statement. So without objection, Chairman Clayton, you are recognized for your testimony. I understand Chairman Chayton. Thank you, Commissioner Peirce, Commissioner Roisman. So without objection, Chairman Clayton, you are recognized. Testimony. What are you doing now to take a look at Libra and Calibra? Have you set up a committee, a commission, an advisory group? Are you looking at it so that you can understand what those risks are? And now, Chairman Clayton, as we have discussed, I'm extremely concerned about Facebook's planned cryptocurrency, Libra, and digital wallet, Calibra, and their potential impacts on investors, consumers, and the American financial system. Treasury Secretary Mnuchin, Federal Reserve Chairman Powell, and even President Trump have raised similar concerns. Just this month, regulators from France and Germany both agreed to block Libra from their countries. In a joint statement, the two governments stated that, quote, no private company can claim monetary power which is inherent to the sovereignty of nations, unquote. Can you please talk about the systemic risk and risk to investors that Libra, as currently described, would pose? What about the entire blockchain phenomenon? What do you know about that? What work has been done on that? Is there an opportunity to perhaps brief the legislators on the work that you may be doing, both looking at Libra and looking at all of blockchain? The gentleman from Connecticut, Mr. Himes, is recognized for 5 minutes. Thank you. Without objection, a letter from Better Markets will be entered into the record. Without objection, all members will have 5 legislative days within which to submit additional written questions for the witnesses to the chair, which will be forwarded to the witnesses for their response. I ask our witnesses to please respond as promptly as you're able. Without objection, all members will have 5 legislative days with which to submit extraneous materials to the chair for inclusion in the record. And I thank you, and this hearing is adjourned.